All right. Okay. Welcome, brand new T1D crew members. We have a nice, intimate, small group today because I'm celebrating that you guys are the founding members that have stepped up to the plate and said, yes, I want to be part of this group. And I really thank everybody that's watching the recording. I've had type 1 for 40 years, and I've worked with type 1s all over the world for about the past 10 years. And I'm on a mission to help as many type 1s as I can get really good education and training and support that I feel like is greatly lacking in the type 1 diabetes world. So, like I said, I was diagnosed in 1980. I was 7. And so I understand the fears and the frustrations. And I remember worrying about if I was going to go blind when I was a kid. And my mom just recently told me that she thought I never had kids because she thought I couldn't because it was too scary. And I was like, no, mom, I just didn't have kids. Like I didn't think my diabetes was a problem. So there's all of this like misinformation out there. And I'm really moved to want to help as many of us as I can. So we have a small, intimate group today to share with you. My vision is to reach thousands. My vision is that this T1D crew becomes a really popular place for people to finally get the education and support. Both of those things are really important. That's my tagline: a top-notch place for education and support. Because I've worked with patients for, well, like I said, 10 years, and some have had diabetes for decades. And they said that after working with me for 3 months, they learned more in 3 months than they have in 50 years. And, I'm glad that that one person, who said that found me. But what about all the millions of us that are out there that haven't found me yet? And so that's my mission. My mission is to have this T1D crew membership get out to as many people as possible, because we all deserve the care. And so for those of you that have found me already, I'm so excited. You are the first ones to step up to be part of this mission. And I just celebrate you for finding me and for believing in me and being here. So today is just a meet and greet. I'm also just going to share a little bit about the details of the platform and the difference between the free version and the education plan. So, but first, I'd love, there's just three of us, well, me and three of you guys. So we're just having a small, intimate meet and greet, which is great. And my goal is to, keep growing this list. Right now, I'm not going to keep marketing it a lot because there's enough of you in here that I really am excited to get your feedback about what's working well and what you'd like to see. I want to make sure that what I've provided for you guys, you really like, and you're getting your needs met before I really start inviting more and more and more people. So these next few months are really just me getting feedback from you guys about what you like and what you'd like to see. So I expect it to stay small for a while. And I really ask all of you to share in the activity feed, because that's what creates the community. There's Friday today is Share Your Success and Wins Friday. So I just posted that. So every Friday is Share Your Successes and Wins. And then I'm thinking about having other days of the week. Monday is Education Monday. That's when I do the live video in the upgrade, the education plan. Tuesday is Q&A Tuesday. And then I was thinking about maybe having a recipe day, or what's called a give and ask day, where you give a tip and then you ask for help, or you give a recipe and you ask for a recipe, something like that. Because I really want this to be a positive and engaged community. And so any input you guys have about how to make that work, I appreciate. And anytime you feel moved to share something, like you're excited about something in your diabetes, or you're frustrated about something in your diabetes, or you have a great tip or a great recipe that you want to share, that's what the activity feed is all about. And for the people in the free version, that's the extent of your access is to the activity feed. The education plan is where I'll be doing live trainings every Monday and every live Q&As every Tuesday, which is really where, my dream and hope is where the majority of people will come, because my mission is to get people the education they need to really know how to navigate their diabetes successfully. And I have found that so many of us have never been trained properly on really how to get a 6% A1C. Like, everybody is burnt out because if you've given this much training, if you got this much training, but you need this much, like, you're always going to feel like you're failing. And that's what most of my private patients tell me. They're like, I feel like I'm failing. I'm doing everything I need to do, but it's still not getting me there. I'm still having highs and lows, right? I hear that all around the world. I hear that from the UK, from Australia, all over the US, Asia. I'm doing everything I'm told, but it's not working, right? Well, that's because you've been given this much training and you need this much, right? So being in the education plan is where, I'm going to be giving all my training. So, all right. So my background, I will share until you ladies share. So I know Beyonda, you're walking, so I can't see you right now, but Amy or Chelsea, which one of you would like to go first? Amy, I see it.
Sure, I'll go
Okay,
first. So
wonderful.
what did you want to know?
Yeah, well, tell us, where you're calling from, how long you've had diabetes, and what your diabetes journey has kind of been like, and why you're here, and what you want to gain. So, in
Sure,
like 3 minutes, something like that,
sure. I live in St. Louis, Missouri.
in Missouri. Okay.
Yep, in Missouri, where it's cold and it snowed the last 2 days, which is nice because my kids are very excited we finally got snow.
Yeah,
So I have had diabetes. I was diagnosed in 2017 at
oh,
age 38.
yeah,
Very surprised. It
yeah,
was from my routine, blood workup
yeah.
yearly. My doctor thought it was some error in the lab, and it came back, and my A1C at that point was 7.4.
Mm,
So not super high, but not, normal. So, and I came back, and it was higher. So yeah, so I started on slow acting right away, and
mhm.
that brought it down. And with diet and exercise, I was able to keep it down for a while, and then it started getting, swinging more than I wanted. And so now I dose with meals also.
Mhm.
And just by trial and error, because my endocrinologist didn't really give me very much. I mean, he gave me a sliding scale. If you're over 200, give a unit. Okay. Great.
That's
So,
what I said. We don't get
right, right.
training.
Right. So just with trial and error, I have figured it out. And maybe 99% of the time I'm, under 140. So, which is where I like to be. I feel awful if I'm anywhere else.
Yeah,
And the wild swings, I feel if I can control it and not get the wild swings, I feel great.
yeah,
I don't have the, hunger or the moods or the,
yeah.
that kind of thing. So,
Well, Amy,
uh,
do you know that 30 or 50% of newly diagnosed autoimmune, I call type 1 autoimmune diabetes, um,
right.
50% are over the age of 30 now.
Right. Actually, I'm in a support group in St. Louis called the Diva Diabetics Group. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're awesome. They're run by a very nice lady named Joan, and 90% of them were diagnosed as adults.
Yep, yep. It's all autoimmune diseases are on the rise today because of environmental triggers. Yeah. Yeah. So type 1.5 is what I call it, LADA, latent autoimmune diabetes of adulthood. And yeah, it seems to be over 50% of my patients are LADA now. So it sounds like you've gotten some great care. Staying under 140 most of the time is great.
Yep.
My goal is to still give you even more tools to, there's three major areas that I'm going to be covering in the trainings on Mondays. Well, the most important ones that I want everybody to get, but there's so many more. But really mastering your basal rate, knowing how to test it, knowing how to adjust it, knowing when to adjust it temporarily, knowing how to confirm that it's set correctly. Number one, that's your foundation, right? Your basal rate. Number two is mealtime dosing, which is much more complicated than carb counting. It's not that simple, especially correction factors. You have to understand a lot more than just what your number is, right? Because how much insulin do you have on board? How much food do you still have digesting? It
Right.
can't just be a 1 unit for 200. That won't work. There's a lot of one of my frustrations in our training is there's a lot of like, okay, just take 1 unit for every 15 grams of carb. Take 1 unit if you're 200. Dose 15 minutes before you eat. Right? Those things don't teach you critical thinking, and those things don't work in real life because there's too many other variables affecting those rules. So that's why I use the word navigate, right? We're navigating diabetes. We're a crew. We're navigating a ship. We have to use all these variables. We have to use all these tools. We're sailing across the ocean. You know, we have to use critical thinking. There's not always a set answer. So it sounds like you've gotten some great training just in these past few years, and you're here to learn more. So I commend you for that. Great. And I know you don't have your last name there. I apologize. Are you, there's a couple Amy's in the education plan. Are you in the free plan or the education plan?
I'm in the premium. My last name's
You
covered.
are. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still trying to learn and navigate the system. Like I can't figure out to find where your guys' email is. So I'm trying to, how do I differentiate when there's 3 Amy's? I'm like, where's the email?
Yeah, I should have put my last name, sorry.
That's okay. You don't have to put your last name. That's all right.
It was
Okay.
already in there and I just didn't change it. So,
Okay. That's fine. No, I don't want you to put your last name if you don't want to. I just need to figure out how to differentiate the different people with the same names, right? All right. Okay. Chelsea. And then Beyonda, whenever you're going to be ready after Beyonda. So just heads up. Okay.
Okay. I am Chelsea Lambert. I live in northern Utah, and I've been diabetic for 24 years. I was diagnosed just before my 3rd birthday, so it's literally all that I know. It's been a rough journey. Feeling alone a lot of the time. And doctors don't get it, you know, I don't know that I've ever had a positive doctor visit. But
You talked to me yesterday.
I did. That was probably one of the first ones. I had a lot of anxiety leading up to that, you should know.
Oh, really? Oh gosh. Well, that's just from past experience, right?
Yes, and PTSD. I've actually sat in a doctor's office with my dad and was chewed out by a physician and shamed.
Yeah.
That was actually the only doctor visit he actually went with me because my mom couldn't go. And he's like, wow, now I know why you don't like going to the doctor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. But
that's really a shame. I'm sorry. That's very common.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. So just a lot of emotional, mental stuff. Not a lot of good training, and I'm ready to make a change. So
I'm so glad you found me, Chelsea. That's you're, unfortunately or unfortunately, there's millions of people that feel the same way as you do. There's millions of type 1s that feel shamed and judged and not understood, and they need support. They need training. They need emotional support. Yeah. That is why I'm on this mission.
Support.
Yeah, that is exactly why I'm on this mission. Is like, I'm so aware. I mean, I stopped going to doctors as well because I remember one day he called me the wrong name and I was like, I'm out. Like, I don't want to come back. And then I would ask questions. I remember I asked a question one day and, he just patted me on the knee and it was like, oh, it's too difficult for me to explain this to you. You won't understand. That was his answer. And I know now the answer.
Wow.
I know now that he didn't know the answer to my question. I'm very clear. I know the answer now of the question I asked, but I'm certain it's because he didn't know the answer to my question. So I think one of those 2 appointments, either the one when he patted me on my knee and said, and these were 2 different endos actually, one that said you wouldn't understand, and then the other one that called me the wrong name. It was one of those 2 appointments, and I was probably in my 20s, and I said, you know what, I'm just not going to go anymore. I'm just not going to go anymore. I'm just going to do my own figuring. I'm going to figure it all out myself. And then I went to med school when I was 30, and now I'm 48, and I get to help all you guys. So it's awesome.
Awesome.
All right, Beyonda, we see you. Oh, now we don't.
There we go. Hi, I'm Beyonda. So I'm from Australia, and I was diagnosed at 32. And I was lucky. I was visiting my mother on the other side of Australia, and she was a type 2, and she was testing herself. And I said, "Oh, test me too." And my blood sugar was like 16. And so the whole week I was there, she just tested me every morning, fasted, and I was between 13 and 16. She said, "Oh, you're a diabetic."
Oh,
I went,
wow.
"Oh." So anyway, when I came back home, I went to the doctor and I told her, and the doctor goes, "Oh, okay, we'll come in and do that glucose test," almost like it was inconvenient. And then at the end, after I'd done the test, my blood sugar was 25. And so she goes, "Yeah, you're right, you're a diabetic."
So
So I
let me
never like,
let me just clarify for everybody, the millimole numbers, to get more or less the US numbers, you times it by 20. It's actually 18, but so 25 would be like 500. 15 would be like 300, more or less.
yeah, sorry, I forget that.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, so I never ever went to hospital or anything because they caught it early. They tried me on metformin because I was a bit older, and then that didn't work. So they go, "You're type 1." And then I had the antibody test and they said, "Yeah, you're definitely type 1." I think I've been tried to be proactive the whole time I've had it, and I haven't really had, I think, some issues with doctors that other people have because I was an adult. I think maybe, I don't know, like I was always happy to speak up or whatever, or change my doctor, whichever one was required. So yeah, and at the moment I'm on a Medtronic pump with CGM, and I'm just trying to, I do okay. Like my last HbA1c was 7.2. But I see other people are getting 6s and normal sort of blood sugars, and I just want to make those little tweaks to, to fine tune that and get that time in range down. And even though I think with like I've been trying this week to do the microbiomes, it's more work, but at the end of it, you actually feel better because you're not spending that time low or high.
Yeah.
So yes, you might take a minute to do your bolus or whatever, whereas normally you just go, "Oh, just let it ride." But then I think then later on, like when you've had the whole day and you've been in range, you feel better.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely. Well, you're doing so great, Bionda. I love your attitude, and you're absolutely correct that there's probably tools that are missing that will allow you to get to a 6% or a 5.9 or whatever, and that's my whole passion, is to get you guys the training that you need, right?
Yep.
Wonderful.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Okay, well, welcome. And I moved this, so I'm going to be doing our calls at different times in order to help you guys in Australia and the UK and things like that, so I have to move around sometimes. All right.
It actually works out well because it's actually Saturday here, so I'm always a day ahead of you guys.
Right, I love that. Well, it's
So,
funny because I'm actually in Hawaii, so I'm only 3 hours ahead of you.
oh, great.
It's 10 a.m. in Friday morning for me, because you're just right over there.
Yeah, but I'm 7 o'clock Saturday morning.
I know, but
Yeah.
in a sense, we're not that far away, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. All
You're
right.
probably my closest.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, well, welcome. We have 2 other people that just joined, both Lisas. So welcome, Lisa and Lisa. We're just doing a meet and greet here where just telling us your story of like when you were diagnosed, how long you've had type 1, what is working well, what's not working well, why you've joined the crew, and what you're excited to gain. So which Lisa would like to start?
Hi.
Lisa R. Wonderful.
So I'm new to this technology stuff. So can you hear me?
Yes, we gotcha. Yep.
Okay. So I've been following you for, I don't know, 5 years. But I just got that email the other day, so I was like, "Oh, I remember her." And then I bought your book, Hunger.
Oh yeah.
And I loved it, and it was really motivating. And I read it in one day.
Oh my gosh.
And so I wonder to myself, why is it this person that has had diabetes longer than me, 2 years longer than me, has traveled the world and did all this stuff, and like my whole life I have felt like I couldn't do anything because I was, being held back. Like, so what's the difference? So that's kind of why I joined, because I want to see like what you're doing that's different than what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
So, because it's, it's been difficult, and the older you get, like I'm 52 now, it's a struggle. And like last night my sugar was like 400. So this morning it took me a couple hours to get it into the normal range so I could go to the gym. So that was my win for the day. So I got it normal, went to the gym. So anyway, I'm just here to connect. I've never been to any support groups for type 1s.
Yeah.
Pretty much I've done everything on my own my whole life as far as my diabetes, and nobody's really understood it, so that's why I'm here. I want to connect and learn.
Awesome, Lisa. I'm so glad you found me.
Me too.
And I'll repeat I'll say this over and over again. All of us have been given this much training, and we need this much training. And
Right.
that's why it's like, what? I did everything I was told. It's not working, right? It's
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
we haven't received, and that's my passion. My passion is to make sure that you get the full toolbox, and not only training of how to get a, below 6.5 A1C, but the emotional support and the understanding. I've been doing 2 Zoom calls a month with my private patients for over 5 years. And some of them have been on almost every call for 5 or 6 years, because we're all so hungry to talk to people that get it. We can be absolutely loved in our home life and our friends, but they don't get it. They will, nothing against them, of course. But when you have somebody else that's like, oh yeah, I know when I'm super low,
Right.
I want to eat an elephant and everything in the fridge. I get it. Or I just went high and now I'm low and now I need to take a nap and I'm depressed and I'm tired and I'm tired.
Right.
We
And no matter how much you want them to get it, they just don't ever get it.
yeah. They can't, because they don't have it.
Yeah.
They love us. They love you. But
Right.
they just, it's like asking a man to understand being a woman. It's just not possible, or vice versa,
Mhm.
right? We just
Yeah.
aren't it. We're just not gonna, it's like I can tell you about Italy, but to learn about Italy, you just got to go to Italy, right?
Right.
You read about it in a book. So that's why that's why I create, that's why I created Zoom calls for all of my patients to meet each other. And why I've created the crew is, to really find, and I'm excited that it's not on Facebook. I think we all need maybe a break from that.
Yeah.
There's great aspects to it, but this feels to me more intimate. It's its own thing. We don't have
Right.
ads popping in and things like that.
Right.
Okay, well, Lisa, where are you calling from?
I am calling from Pahrump, Nevada.
Nevada. Okay, excellent.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. All right. Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
Lisa, number 2. Would you like to share?
Yeah, hi. So I'm Lisa number 2. I'm around the same as you, Lisa, because I don't know if you experienced this, but when we were kids, Lisa was a very popular name.
Yes.
So all of us Lisas are in our 50s. I'm actually a family member, so I don't have an agenda except to learn more. I have an adult family member who's had diabetes for 6 years. So just here to just trying to get a better understanding.
Well, I really commend you for stepping up, and I'm always, my heart is so warmed by people that will come and support, your loved ones, and that's exactly what this program is for. Hold on, I lost your photo. Where'd your photo go? Sorry, where'd my photos go? Okay, there we go. Like I was talking,
Yeah.
I was like, but where'd she go?
Right.
Yeah. So I just really commend you, because I know all of us with type 1, if our loved ones were on here wanting to learn, like I would cry. I know certain family members that are like, wait, you're 200? Does that mean you need to eat something? I'm like, No, it doesn't. I know you've known me my whole life and you still don't get that, but I'll love you anyways.
Or like, you're low, do you need some insulin?
Yeah, oh yeah, all the time. I'm like, no, I don't. So the fact that you're here, I mean, I'm sure it brings like tears to our eyes, all of us, that like, oh, someone that cares enough to spend your time to be here. So I'm very, very happy that you're here.
Yeah.
So like I said, the educational piece is is available in the education plan. Anybody's questions about the education piece, I will be answering in the live Q&As on Tuesdays. I'll be doing trainings every Monday. The free version is just to communicate with other members. And I'll be in there a little bit cheering everybody on, and in these initial months working on getting our community going. But the free version is really about the community, and the educational piece is where I'll really be giving people the tools for how to get better blood sugar numbers. So I do hope anybody that's watching this that's not already in the education plan will consider that. Your first week is free. And I also am going to start doing some expert interviews in there because I love connecting with other type 1 experts. And I know Chelsea, for example, she shared with me a bunch of ideas for other topics that we are going to cover. And, I know a lot, but I certainly don't know everything. So it just makes more sense for us to get as much help as we can. So I'm going to be bringing in other type 1 expert interviews in the education plan, probably once a month. And what else I can say about that? Oh, so each month in the education plan is a theme. And one theme might be, how to sleep at night without having a high or low. And then another theme might be how to exercise and not go low. And another theme might be, we might just have a whole month on what we're eating and, how to dose for what we're eating. So every month there's going to be a theme for my Monday trainings and the Q&As. And my hope is that people stay in the education plan for a minimum of 6 months to get all the tools that you need. Like I said, instead of receiving this much training, to get this much training. My assumption is it'll take about 6 months of the Monday training to get those tools. And all the Monday and Tuesday trainings will be recorded, and so they'll be archived. And so I obviously know a lot of people won't be able to make the events live, but all of the trainings will be in the education plan for, you can watch them over and over whenever you want. I have all of you filled out your profile with your photo and given a little blurb about that. Okay, that would be great if you're watching the recording, because again, the more we see your face, the more we hear about who you are, it really is a great way to connect. And I'm just so excited that you're all here. I thank you so much. And the month of January, my theme that I put was that why type 1s and those who love us are heroes. And as a holistic physician, I want to give you not only tools for how to get really good blood sugar care, but I also am really passionate about tools for being very kind to ourselves and taking care of our emotional health, feeling connected, feeling heard, because this is a condition that is 24 hours a day, every day. And of course, it's going to take a toll on our emotional health, right? So I want to honor that. And I want to make sure in January, my theme is that to really honor wherever you're at with your numbers, wherever you're at with your care, wherever you're at with your health, that you have a really big task on your plate. And no matter how well you think you do from day to day, I want you to honor yourself for being like, I know you didn't raise your hand and say, I want to do this. You were like told you have to do this. So do it. And you're doing the best you can. You're doing the best you can. And so, there's no perfection in diabetes. It's just like there's no perfection sailing the boat in the ocean. We're all crew members navigating this diabetes ship together. Some days there's rough waters, some days the sail rips, some days, the mast breaks. But, we're sailing the ship. We're sailing the ship. We're doing the best we can. And so that's so important to honor yourself for wherever you're at. And obviously you're here to learn more. So kudos to you for stepping up to say, I want support, I want help. Because I can tell you, there's a lot of people that will hear about me and they're like, oh, I don't need help. I don't need help. I'm doing fine. Or I don't have time, or I don't have the money, or I don't know, I'll never get it. And it just breaks my heart. You guys are here saying, hey, there's more out there and I want it. So I really commend you for that. All right, so before we wrap up today, any comments or feedback that you'd like to share? Anybody? Anybody? No, okay, great. Let me just make sure, let me look at the dashboard of our, dun, dun, dun. Okay. I don't have, there we go, okay. Well, I did schedule an hour, but I put an hour just because I didn't know how many people would show up. But clearly we've had a great meeting. Everybody's been able to share. So we're going to wrap up early. And like I said, I thank you all. I honor you all for the work that you do every day to take care of yourself, and Lisa to take care of your loved one. And I'm just excited to get to know you guys. In the education plan, we'll be doing our Zooms every Monday and Tuesdays. And you can post anytime you want questions. Share your success today. So today, Share Your Success Friday. Beyonda, I know she already shared, which was awesome. So Friday, Share Your Success Friday. So if you want to share something, and it can be like something you did well with your blood sugar, or even something you did well with your emotional health or your diet or your exercise. When I work with people, I also talk about the 4 pillars of health. This is like the foundation for your wellness. And those 4 areas that I always like to talk about are your nutrition, your sleep, your emotional health and stress levels, and your exercise, right? So we exercise, we sleep, we eat, and we think, right? Those are the 4 pillars that if you have a 5% A1C, but you're not eating and you exercise all day and you don't sleep and you're super stressed, there's a lot of work to do, right? We don't just have an A1C as our report card. You know, I want to help you guys with healthy eating. I want to help you guys with healthy emotional health. I want to help you guys have, a good exercise or moving your body, right? And sleeping well. All of those things are important. And so that's the whole picture that I'm going to provide. Some months are going to be specific to dosing your insulin properly. And some months are going to be to like January, like loving yourself, honoring yourself. So as a holistic physician, I want to make sure all of you is well. Okay. So all right. Well, on that note, we will wrap it up. For those of you in the education plan, I will see you on Monday. Beyonda says, thank you. Nice to meet everyone. Thank you, Beyonda, for representing Australia and representing tomorrow for all of us. You guys have a great weekend. It's Friday, and I hope to see you all on Monday. Bye for now. Bye.